Hello, children, and welcome to the Trashion Icon. I'm your host, the Trashion Icon, G. Spencer Morton. This week, the G stands for I don't know what I'm doing, but that won't stop me. Maybe it stands for gumption. I don't know if that starts with a G, but that certainly won't stop me. Welcome to the Trashion Icon. Together, we will turn crap into couture, garbage into glamour, and trash into trashion. In each episode, we will be exploring a new materials, a new pollutant, whether it be plastic, paper, cardboard, or textiles, or any number of garbage, whatever really I can get my grubby little hands on. And we'll be taking that material, understanding it. We're going to look at why is this trash? Is it really trash? We're going to get a little philosophical. Once we've identified our materials, we've understood it, we've broken down why maybe it won't break down for another 1,000 years and why that's bad. Then we get to the fun part, where we get to stroll through fashion history and inspiration. We're going to look at designers, inspirational icons, periods of history, books, movies, all of them, to help construct a new garment that will be brought to life by whatever means necessary. Everything I use will be garbage, secondhand, recycled, or in some way turning trash into treasure. Make no guarantee it will be successful, but I do guarantee it will be an adventure. For our inaugural episode, we will be exploring my recent creation, Scarlett O'Hara Could Never, which I constructed for the 2021 Sonoma Trashion Fashion Show. When we think of recycling, we usually think of paper and cardboard and plastic and whatever we can put in our recycling bin, and we often overlook just how much of what we use every day or even have in our homes can be recycled, whether it's in your recycling bin or at the proper recycling facilities. Now, just because it can't go in your recycling bin doesn't mean it's entirely trash. When I was thinking about what material I wanted to work with for the Trashion Fashion Show, I thought a lot about underappreciated and maybe materials we don't realize could be recycled. You get a lot of like coffee filters and plastics and magazines, and they're all phenomenal. They're great materials to work with. But I wanted to bring some light to material that's often overlooked and needs more attention, to be like, hey, guess what? Hey, you can recycle me. I'm entirely recyclable. So after much consideration, I thought a lot about like what is something in my home that's been sitting around for too long that really should have either been out to the bins or gone to the recycling center or the thrift store. And I came across these red curtains. They have been everything from curtains to drapes to tablecloths, table runners, backdrops, you name it, they've done it. So I found these great curtains, and I thought a lot about these curtains because I grew up with these curtains. These curtains might be older than I am. And they're huge. They're ridiculous. They are, metrically speaking, ridiculously long curtains. They're these bright red, ridiculously long curtains that we found at this chic little boutique. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Walmart. Je ne sais Walmart. Can you tell I am taking Duolingo? Je suis Walmart. So I started thinking about how many times these curtains have been recycled and reused and transformed to meet our needs. And I thought a lot about how many curtains have we thrown away, how many towels, how much carpet, or what things have not survived the 20 years. How much textile materials is actually recycled? How much of it can be recycled? So just like pause this video right now and have a look around the room and just count the number of things that are textile materials, like the curtains, the carpet, any upholstery, clothing. Have a look around and imagine only 15% of it being properly recycled. Any textile you can take to a recycling facility and it can be properly recycled, churned up, get all mushed up and used as like insulation or mattress stuff. 95% of all textiles can be recycled in some way, whether it's taking your clothes to the thrift store or your old carpeting to a recycling facility, or, recycling your several decades old curtains into a glamorous evening gown, as one does. Textiles can take up to 200 years to decompose in landfill. Probably more, but we're going with 200. At the same time, we are buying more clothing than ever. On average, a consumer buys 60% more clothing than they did 15 years ago. Like, to get a grasp on like how much textile material is wasted, more than 2 tons of clothing are bought each minute in the UK alone. That is mind-bogglingly ridiculous. Globally, around 56 million tons of clothing are bought each year, and this is expected to rise to 93 million tons by 2030 and 160 million tons by 2050. That is a big number, and I don't like it at all. Nope. So yeah, after learning those disturbing statistics, I really wanted to shed light on how the textiles all around us can be transformed. And that's what Trash and Fashion is all about. It's about taking whatever inspires you and giving it completely new life. So now that we've identified our material and we've learned quite a lot about it and how it impacts our environment and what we can do about it, recycle it at the proper facilities. That's always going to be the answer. Recycle it. We can give it a trashformation. So let's have a look at inspiration. I knew that I wanted the inspiration of old curtains to come through in the design. Working with curtains, I knew in some way I was subconsciously referencing Carol Burnett in Went with the Wind, which is a parody of Gone with the Wind.
What brings you to Tara? You vixen, you. Stylist, I love you. That gown is gorgeous. Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
Gone with the Wind is the incredibly long-winded tale of Scarlett O'Hara, a privileged white woman with too many problems and not enough people to give a damn. Anyway, so she's desperate. She's like looking around. She's like, I need a new dress, but I don't have any money. And she looks at the curtain. She's like, that'll do. That'll work. Let's do that. Sure. And so she takes the curtains off the walls and makes actually a pretty good dress out of it. Well, she probably doesn't make any of it. Mammy probably makes all of it because Mammy solves all of her problems.
Anyway,
But
I simply must have a new dress. But what shall I make it out of, as I cannot afford silk nor cotton because we're in the middle of the Civil War and it's not a priority to have pretty dresses right now. But I simply have to have one. My oh my. Ah, yes, we have curtains upon the walls. Those will do.
like if you've ever seen a dress from the Civil War era, those things are huge and they got huge crinolines and petticoats and all that business. So using curtains actually makes a lot of sense because curtains are huge. In an attempt to pay homage to the one and only Carol Burnett, I tried really hard to find a way to keep the curtain rod in the dress to keep it kind of funny and be like, haha, Carol Burnett. It felt too close to what she had done and it felt like I was just kind of ripping off a ripoff, which is not good. There was quite a lot of inspiration taken from the fashion world as well. The overall sense of high fashion camp comes from my love of Mugler, who can make anything camptastically stunning. Like, just assume in every episode we are in some way referencing Mugler, because we are. My initial inspiration for the design came from Balmain 2020 Fall Collection. With this crossover cape, I loved the drape and I thought, yeah, you could start with the shoulders and have it swoop around and cross over. It was a brilliant idea. However, the fabric was just too heavy, and again, it just felt like a rip-off. Like, it would have just been a carbon copy of that design, which could have been cool, but also, like, that's not that interesting to just take a design. I'm not Boohoo. I don't just take things that don't belong to me, like Forever 21. So after playing with some designs inspired by Valentino and Talaya, I remembered the McQueen Rose dress from 2019 and thought the fabric was similar enough that I could create a very similar voluminous sleeve effect, and it really pulled the whole gown together. So the sleeves were very much inspired by McQueen, the bodice was very inspired by Balmain 2020, but the back was actually inspired by Crimson Peak. It's the perfect gothic horror that's both ridiculously beautiful and delightfully terrifying. Gone with the Wind? Boring. No. Don't watch Gone with the Wind. Go watch Crimson Peak. It's beautiful. Crimson Peak, Lucille wears this incredible blood red dress with this like woven spine. It's incredible. The shape of it is very inspired by Ridley Scott's Alien, because I was playing Alien Isolation. Yeah, leave it to me to put Gone with the Wind with Ridley Scott's Alien and to come out with something this fabulous. This is what you can expect. Gone with the Wind, Ridley Scott's Alien. Here we are. I wanted the gown to reflect its former life as curtains by utilizing the draping effect of the fabric in the pleats and the folds. The garment was made from 5 ridiculously long red curtains, and not a single cut was made. It's all folds and hand sewn together. So after the gown was complete, it needed some accessories. It was screaming for a headdress of some kind. I played with the curtains and tried to make like a hat or a headdress, but it was too bulky and too kind of bleh for it to work. Then I had a vision. I remember this brilliant picture of Isabella Blow wearing a hat by Philip Tracy. It was perfect. The shape was both grandiose and extravagant, but it wouldn't eclipse the rest of the dress. Isabella Blow, being the icon, legend, and star that she is, has yet again inspired a young artist now from beyond the grave. Yeah, so this part of the hat is actually made from a filler, like the cushiony filler of a box of chocolates. Of course, I had so many boxes of chocolates for all my suitors and many lovers. You know when you open one of those boxes up and you have the little plastic filler thing? Yeah, that's what this is. This used to be a heart shape, so I made another second panel and just glued them together to make it look like one panel. It's the box of chocolates. We got some feather trim and this other feathery stuff from an old dress or something, and I glued it all on to like a headband. The veil is actually from a hat that I rescued from a thrift store, and the hat was just falling apart. Like, it was more or less rotting, and recycled it here. And actually the veil is detachable, and this little rose in the back is from one of the balloons. Again, a gift from one of my many suitors, of which there are many. Did I mention there was a lot of them? There are so many. So I made this fascinator out of like a box of chocolates, an old balloon, a vintage veil from a rotting hat, feather trim from a dress that I don't have anymore. Like, you can really use anything, especially stuff from like holidays and Valentine's Day. Great material, because it's better than throwing it in the garbage. Look out, Philip Tracy, I'm coming for your gig. As if just one accessory could ever be enough for me. I sensed a deep need for a wow moment to go with the rest of this wow-outfit. You know, there's outfits and then there's wow-outfits. What I wear is a wow-outfit because you go wow, or you go wow, or you go wow, or you go whoa. What? That happens a lot. But, you know, outfits and wow-outfits. I do wow-outfits, you might do outfits. I don't know your life. I can't see you. A folding fan was perfect. It's extravagant and yet it's elegant and it's incredibly camp. It's its own language. And I love fans. I'm a fan of fans. I found this fan actually at the Republic of Thrift, and it was kind of falling apart. The paint was peeling and it was just screaming for a makeover. So I cleaned it up, covered it with a few fresh coats of paint, and hand stenciled the words Trashion Icon so that everybody knew who they were dealing with. Thank you for joining us on the first episode of the Trashion Icon. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed it in some capacity or found it somewhat entertaining. I have been your host, G. Spencer Morton, the Trashion Icon. If you have any questions, thoughts, feelings, or opinions, please leave a comment down below. Please like and subscribe, and check out the Sonoma Community Center. They put on the Sonoma Trash and Fashion Show every year, rain or shine. And we'll see you next time.